Have you ever stood in the grocery aisle staring at cereal options for 10 minutes, only to leave empty-handed? That's not just indecision, it's decision fatigue slowly draining your willpower. By the time you face important choices later in the day, your brain is already exhausted from all those tiny decisions. The worst part? You might not even realize it's happening. In this video, I'll show you exactly how to spot decision fatigue in your life and the simple strategy one used to stop wasting mental energy on meaningless choices. The hidden cost of small choices. I once spent 20 minutes debating between two nearly identical toothpastes. That's when I knew something was wrong. They were the same brand, same flavor, just different packaging. And yet I stood there frozen, as if choosing wrong would ruin my life. That's decision fatigue in action, when your brain gets tired from making too many choices, even small ones. Here's the thing, we don't notice how many tiny decisions we make every day. Picking an outfit, deciding what to eat for breakfast, choosing which route to take to work. These seem harmless, but they add up fast. Researchers at Cornell found the average adult makes about 35,000 decisions daily. Your brain doesn't care if it's choosing socks or a career path, each one uses the same mental fuel. Morning routines are the worst offenders. Ever notice how you feel drained before your day even starts? That's because you're making dozens of micro decisions before 9 a.m. Should I hit snooze? What should I wear? Coffee first or shower? Each choice chips away at your willpower reserves. By afternoon, you're mentally running on empty. There's a famous Stanford study about judges reviewing parole cases. They found judges were significantly more likely to deny parole right before lunch. Not because the cases were worse, but because the judges were mentally fatigued from hours of decisions. Their brains defaulted to the safer no when tired. We do the same thing with our own choices, putting off important decisions until we feel fresh. Think of your decision-making energy like a phone battery. Every choice drains it a little. By evening, you're at 10 power, staring at a takeout menu, unable to pick between pizza or Thai food. That's why we procrastinate big decisions. Our brain knows it's running low. We tell ourselves, I'll decide tomorrow, because right now, we're tapped out. The weird part? Big life decisions often feel easier than small ones. That's because we usually make them when we're rested and focused. But choosing what to watch on Netflix after work? Agony. Your brain treats all decisions equally, so the trivial ones steal energy from what matters. Here's what clicked for me. Every time I hesitated between two similar products at the store, I was training my brain to get stuck. The more small choices I made, the worse I got at making any choices. But here's the good news: unlike your phone, you can recharge this battery strategically. Why your best decisions happen at weird times. My best life-changing idea came at 2 a.m. not because I'm nocturnal, but because my decision fatigue was finally gone. That's when I realized timing changes everything about the choices we make. Your brain doesn't work the same way at 9 a.m. versus 9 p.m. And most people waste their clearest thinking hours on the wrong things. Think about your typical morning. You're fresh, alert, maybe even motivated. Then you spend that mental energy deciding what to wear, what to eat, which emails to answer first. By lunchtime, you've already burned through your best decision-making fuel on stuff that doesn't matter. That's why CEOs like Zuckerberg wear the same outfit every day. They know preserving mental energy early means better choices later. Researchers at the University of Minnesota call this ego depletion. Every choice you make drains a little from the same tank. Morning you might carefully pack a healthy lunch, but evening you stares at the fridge and orders pizza without thinking. Same person, different mental states. The Journal of Health Psychology found our willpower for food choices drops significantly by afternoon. That's not lack of discipline, it's basic brain chemistry. Here's what happens. Your brain starts the day with full decision-making power. Each small choice, replying to a text, picking a podcast, deciding when to take a break, uses some of that fuel. By evening, you're running on fumes. Ever notice how you can't decide what to watch on Netflix after work? That's not laziness. Your brain literally can't handle more choices. I tested this myself by tracking my decisions for a week. At 8 a.m., I could analyze complex problems easily. By 4 p.m., I struggled to choose between tea or coffee. The tasks didn't get harder, my brain got tired. This explains why we make impulsive decisions at night. That treat yourself online purchase? The late night text you regret sending? Your exhausted brain takes shortcuts when it's low on fuel. The scary part is we don't feel this happening. You don't get a warning light when your decision-making power drops to 20. You just start avoiding choices or picking the easiest option. That's why important decisions made late in the day often backfire. Your brain wants quick solutions, not careful thought. But there's a pattern to the madness. Your best decisions happen when two conditions meet. You're rested, and you haven't wasted energy on trivial choices. For me, that's early mornings or late at night after relaxing. For you, it might be after a workout or during your commute. The key is noticing when your brain works best, then saving important choices for those windows. Which brings us to the simplest way to stop wasting that fuel. The 5-second fix that changed everything. I now make certain decisions in under 5 seconds, not because I'm rushed, but because I trained my brain to. It started when I realized how much energy I wasted debating things that didn't matter. The cereal aisle was just the beginning. I spent more time choosing between shampoos than some people spend voting in elections. That's when I discovered decision automation, the simple trick that freed up mental space I didn't know I had. Here's the problem with most advice about decision making. It tells you to carefully consider every choice. But that's exactly what drains your energy. A Harvard study found our brains use completely different pathways for habitual decisions versus new ones. Routine choices become automatic, like brushing your teeth. Novel decisions require full attention. The more you can shift into that automatic mode, the more energy you save. I tested this with meal planning. Every evening used to involve the same exhausting conversation with myself: what's for dinner? Should I cook? Order takeout? By the time I decided, I was too tired to care. So I created a weekly meal rotation. Mondays are pasta, Tuesdays chicken, and so on. It eliminated 7 daily decisions at once. Suddenly I had energy to actually enjoy my evenings instead of stressing about food. The same principle applies to small but repeated choices. I always book window seats on flights now. No more debating aisle versus window every trip. Researchers at the European Journal of Social Psychology found habits like this conserve willpower because they bypass decision-making altogether. Your brain recognizes the pattern and goes on autopilot. What surprised me was how many areas of life this could simplify. I picked one work outfit I like and bought 5 versions of it. No more morning wardrobe debates. I scheduled all my meetings for the same time slots each week. Even small defaults help. Always putting my keys in the same spot means no frantic searching later. Each one removes a tiny mental tax. Successful people aren't necessarily better at decisions, they just make fewer of them. Think about Steve Jobs' black turtlenecks or Einstein's identical suits. They weren't being eccentric. They created systems so they could spend their mental energy where it mattered. When you automate the small stuff, you create space for real thinking. The best part? This isn't about restriction. It's about clarity. By removing dozens of meaningless choices, I found I actually had stronger opinions about what mattered. I could focus better at work. My relationships improved because I wasn't mentally drained by dinner time. That mental space became creative space. Routinizing small decisions changed how I approach everything. Now when I catch myself overthinking something trivial, I ask, can I turn this into a rule? Can I make this choice once and be done with it? 9 times out of 10, the answer is yes. And that 10th time? Now I have the energy to really think it through. Now let's talk about applying this to the decisions that actually matter. Conclusion: decision fatigue isn't about weakness, it's physics. Your brain has limited energy, like a battery. Spend it where it counts. Tonight, pick one mundane decision to automate forever, maybe your morning coffee order or workout time. Notice how much lighter tomorrow feels when that choice is already made. The cereal aisle doesn't get to dictate your life. You do. Every decision you automate creates space for what matters. Try habit tracking to see progress. Even a checklist works. Pre-plan meals. Pick outfits at night. Set defaults. Small changes compound. Your best decisions happen when you're not drained by trivial ones. Start with one, then watch everything else get easier.